Sicilian defense, open, dragon, old line, 11.bb3ne512.h4h5. Balanced, neither player ever had an advantage. That game was pretty competitive. Both players had an amazing opening. Opening with the king's pawn controls the center and opens up the light-squared bishop and queen, often leading to sharp games. The Sicilian defense controls the d4 square with c-pawn. Nf3 develops the knight toward the center to prepare for a d4 pawn push, where the knight will recapture if black captures on d4. d6 opens up the light-squared bishop and prevents white from pushing the pawn to e5 after black eventually plays nf6. d4 offers to trade the d-pawn for the c-pawn, giving up a center pawn for more active pieces. Cx d4 gives black 2 central pawns versus 1 central pawn for white. Nx d4 recaptures the pawn and activates the knight in return for having 1 central pawn versus black's 2 central pawns. Nf6 develops the knight toward the center and attacks the undefended e4 pawn. Nc3 defends the e4 pawn and starts to develop on the queen side. G6 prepares to fianchetto the dark squared bishop on g7, where it will sit on the long diagonal. b3 supports the strong d4 knight in the center. bg7 puts the bishop on the long diagonal in a move called a fianchetto. It is best. f3 supports the e4 pawn, and prepares to develop the dark squared bishop to e3 and the queen to d2, a common attacking setup versus fianchetto systems. Castling gets the king out of the center and activates the rook. This develops a bishop off its starting square, getting it into the action. This offers an equal trade of pieces. bd7 develops the bishop toward the center, supports the knight on c6 and opens up the c8 square. This develops a queen off its starting square, getting it into the action. This activates a rook by developing it off of its starting square. The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense. Balanced, neither player ever had an advantage. That game was pretty competitive. Both players had an amazing opening. Master games. It is the last book move. Balanced, neither player ever had an advantage. That game was pretty competitive. Both players had an amazing opening.